Hello everyone and welcome to our MeritHub training module. So after signing up for your tutoring session on Better Impact, you'll head back over to the volunteer portal. In the previous module, we covered how to find the content presentation and download it. So in this module, we will cover how to sign on to your tutoring session and also how to use MeritHub, which is our tutoring platform. It has many similarities to Zoom and Skype and is very user-friendly. Please make sure that you are signing on to your tutoring session on time. So once we are ready for a tutoring session, we will head back over to the Tutors tab on the top right corner and select MeritHub information. If you'd like to test out the platform and its functionality before your tutoring sessions, here is a practice link that you can use to familiarize yourself with the platform and make sure that you're comfortable with the various features. On this page, each child in the program will have been assigned a specific link for the entire duration of a program. Please find the child's name and time slot on the spreadsheet below that you have signed up to work with on Better Impact. As a tutor, you must start the tutoring session for the child. You will be able to do this by clicking on the video icon. Once this has been started, the child will be able to see that the session is live and will automatically join. You will be able to see that the child has joined as a notification will appear saying that they are online. Before we start the practice demonstration, we do have a few tips for tutors at the bottom of the page. Once again, tutors will need to start the meeting for the child, and once you are in the session, please click on the audio or camera icons to start the meeting. The child can only enter when you start the meeting. Please make sure you're using Google Chrome as your browser before opening the session link, as it does work best with this platform. Please only start the meeting using the link provided and do not join other links that you are not supposed to be on. When the child comes into the room, please ask them to confirm their first name only, if it is not already written, to ensure that they are in the right session. If you have the wrong child in the session, please ask them to leave the meeting and join their correct session. Please also make sure that you're joining the session exactly at the start time of the session. The room will not open any earlier than that. Please also make sure that you're not ending the meeting early. If you click End Meeting for All, it will end the meeting entirely and you will unfortunately not be able to rejoin after that. Once the meeting is completed, please click on Leave Meeting and not End Meeting. The tutor is the only one that can end the meeting. If a child would like to leave early, please get permission from their parents first. Once you have that, you may end the call and email Shivani or myself to notify us. So, once it is time to join our tutoring session, we will click on the link of the child that we are signed up to work with on Better Impact. The time of the tutoring session and the age of the child will be listed on the spreadsheet. So for this example, it will be tester link as the name of the child, and this session is on Monday from 4 till 5 p.m. So after we've double checked that and that it's listed on the spreadsheet correctly, we can go ahead and click the link, which will bring us to a page that says Go to Session. Once you're on this page, Google Chrome will then prompt you to allow MeritHub to use your microphone. Please make sure that you are pressing allow while visiting the site, or it will pop up each time you join a session. If you are using headphones, please make sure you also use the tab above to select your audio options. So once we press on allow while visiting this site, Google Chrome will then prompt you to allow MeritHub to use your camera. So please make sure that you once again press allow while visiting the site, and if ever you do click on never allow for the microphone or camera option, then you will have to go into your Google Chrome parameters or settings and change the permissions. So I'll go ahead and demonstrate that now if ever that were to happen. So for my camera, I will click on never allow, and to change this setting, we can click on the three vertical lines on the top right corner of Google Chrome and scroll all the way down to settings. On the left side, we can find the privacy and security option, so we'll select that and scroll all the way down until we find site settings. So since we blocked MeritHub from viewing our camera, we'll find the camera option under permissions and select that. Under not allowed to use your camera, MeritHub will show up there. So to fix this issue, we can just go ahead and click on the little trash icon. So once we've done that, we can head back over to our MeritHub tab and refresh at the top. Once we've refreshed, we will be reprompted to use or to allow access for using our camera for the tutoring session. So we're going to click allow while visiting the site this time. And then we can go ahead and click save settings. So once you're on this page, you will be prompted with participants can only enter after you've started the session. So before the student can join, you do need to press one of these two buttons. So this one will just start it as a call and this one will start it as a video call. So you are going to be pressing the one on the right, as tutors are required to have their camera and microphone on for the entire tutoring session. So once we start the call with that button, we'll go ahead and make sure that our camera and microphone are both working. I'll turn mine off for the purpose of this training video, and then there will be a notification that will pop up letting you know that the student is online and they will enter the call. On the right side of the screen is your utility bar for MeritHub. This is where you can find all of the various features and settings that the platform offers. The first option is a reload session. So if ever you or the student are having any technical issues, you can always start off by pressing this to reload or refresh the setting, and it may resolve any issues. The option below is how you will share your screen to go over the content presentation with the student. There are a few other options on the side, such as creating a new whiteboard. You can also create quizzes and question banks for the student using these features. The main feature from this setting will be the one sharing for your screen, which I will demonstrate shortly. Below that is a little two-person icon which shows who is in the call. And the message icon below is the chat box. You can use this feature as a troubleshooting method to communicate with the student if they're having any video issues with their camera or microphone. The student can also use this to type out answers. If ever there are any writing activities in the content presentations, or they can also use text box with a question mark right here, and they can ask the host any questions. The grid layout icon below is how you can modify the layout of your screen. We recommend that you use the classroom view, as it is the easiest to view yourself, the student, and the content presentation at the same time. However, please feel free to use whichever setting you deem best fitting for the tutoring session, as long as the student can also view the content presentation. And whenever you are changing the layout, please make sure that you select this toggle at the top, which says switch layout for everyone, so that way the student can view the same layout as you. Next, I'll go ahead and make sure I have my content presentation ready to go in a separate tab, and I'll also go through this content presentation as an example. So we'll start off by clicking the grid icon and selecting share our screen, which is the second one. Below the Chrome tab option, we'll enter our content presentation. This one is on French innovations. And then we're also going to make sure that the also share tab audio is selected, so that way if there's a YouTube video or any type of video in the presentation, the student will also be able to hear it. Then we're going to go ahead and press on share. Doing so will bring us to the tab that the Google Slides presentation is on, and at this point we can enter the slideshow mode. This will make the presentation bigger on the screen so that both you and the student can view it a little bit easier. After this, there will be a View tab with MeritHub next to it. You can use this button to switch back and forth between the content presentation and MeritHub. On MeritHub, you can't edit or change the presentation directly, as it is only a screen share, so to move it to the next slide in the presentation, you must switch back and forth between tabs. So back on MeritHub, by clicking View tab, you can then modify the layout, and we're going to select Classroom View, which is going to be using the layout icon on the bottom and making sure that switch layout for everyone is toggled on. So in the classroom view, you'll be able to see, I'm just going to close the chat box. In the classroom view, you'll be able to see the content presentation as well as yourself and the student in the top right corner. On the left side, there's many integrated features on MeritHub, the first one being an arrow to click or select different things on the presentation. And below that is the drawing tool for either yourself or the student to draw on the screen or presentation. Below that, there is a highlight feature so you can highlight different texts, and the student also has access to these. There is also a text box further below where you can enter a text box, and the student could either type out their answers or you can also type things as well into the presentation. To erase any work, you can also select the eraser function, and that can go ahead and erase any work. And below that, there is a big arrow, which if you hold your trackpad or mouse down, it can be used as a pointer to point out different things. And this is a fantastic tool if the student needs help following along with their reading exercises. So now I'll just switch back over to the content presentation, which we can go through together. Each presentation is designed to last the entire 1 hour session, and we ask that you prioritize the content presentation before moving on to other activities. So if you do finish early, you can ask the student if they need help with any French homework, or you may also head back over to the volunteer portal and find an alternative activity, or even start a second content presentation to fill the remaining time. The content presentations have a specific theme or topic to make the presentation more fun and engaging. This one is on French innovations, which was created for kids who are 13 years old. The presentation starts off with an icebreaker activity, and this is a great chance for you to gauge the student's level of French and decide if the content will be too easy or too difficult for them. You can get them chatting and find out a little bit more information about the students, such as their likes or dislikes and anything they may be struggling with while learning French. This presentation will then introduce some new vocabulary words tied to the theme that may be new to the student but will reappear throughout the presentation, just to ensure the student has a strong understanding of the words and how to apply them. There will be various reading activities in a presentation, so if they are too difficult, you can always find an alternative reading activity online or ask the student to repeat after you to encourage confidence and practice. There are also writing activities which the student can directly type into the chat box on MeritHub or type directly into the whiteboard. Content creators design these presentations, and if there are any specific instructions or notes that they would like to relay to the tutor to follow, they will either include those at the end of the presentation on a separate page or in the notes box under the slide. Going a little bit further down, we have some more writing activities and speaking activities, and then a little 5-minute break, which should approximately be halfway through the session. This is a great opportunity for the student to get up and move around, grab some water, or even grab a snack before starting back up with the content presentation. We then have a fun activity describing an image, and below that is an interactive dialogue for the student and tutor to practice reading back and forth. On the next slide, we have a fun activity where the student pretends to be a French innovator and must present and speak about what they have created using their imagination. Under that, there's a YouTube video that will allow the student to practice their listening skills and then answer some comprehension questions afterwards. There are 2 different videos with 2 types of questions in this presentation, and some of them have final questions to ensure the student has understood the theme or topic of the presentation. As you can see, these content presentations are quite long, and they are designed to fill the entire 1 hour session with many activities. So if ever you're feeling as if you don't have enough time to complete all of the activities, that is no worries. You can always skip over some activities and come back, or you can also prioritize others depending on where the student may need the most support. On the final slide, you'll find a few tips left behind by CPF coordinators on how you can fill the remaining time of your session, so please feel free to check that out. Heading back over to MeritHub now. The feature at the top will also display a whiteboard feature. So in this section, you can write, and you can also create new ones using the plus button at the top. And let's say that you are no longer using a whiteboard, you can also go ahead and close it and it will delete it. So please note that whenever you are done with the content presentation, make sure that you are not ending the session. This is the option to leave the session here. Please make sure that you are pressing leave and not end session, as if you end the session, this will finish the session for all participants and everyone will go out and no one will be able to rejoin. So please make sure that when you are done, you'll click leave, and then that will conclude your tutoring session. And that also concludes this training module. Thank you all so much, and please don't hesitate to reach out if you have any questions.